Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Where the heck are we today? That is the Atlantic Ocean. We are here in beautiful Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Been out here doing some work with Right to Bear and the good folks over at Forge Relations, but was talking to another content creator today, and we were talking about this video right here where I said, you know, Colorado, you tried to water down your bill, and in doing so, what you really did is you added a second constitutional dilemma to it. Turns out I was wrong. Yeah, actually, you've added a third constitutional dilemma to it. I don't know what's going on out there in Colorado, but the more and more you muck this thing up, the more and more confusing, and unfortunately, the more and more unconstitutional it is getting. So today, from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, let's have Washington Gun Law talk to the folks in Colorado about why does this gun ban keep getting worse by the day?
Therein lies why we say in the legal defense sector that we are the most value-centered, cost-effective legal defense in the space, and we are. There's no question. Now, again, I've said before, we've got great competitors out there. They have outstanding products. We admire them. They paved the way for us. You know, we analyze the folks out there that are doing the same thing we're doing, and we took some great ideas from them, and we went down a path of believing that we were going to do it with a service aspect, a servant's heart, and we have again. Our number one goal has been to serve others first in a way that the industry hasn't seen.
Right to bear, that's right, legal protection for self-protection. Listen, good lawyers aren't cheap, cheap lawyers aren't good. You're not truly prepared unless you have right to bear back you. You will always get an attorney-answered hotline, so you will always have a confidential phone call. There are no cap limits for either civil or criminal defense. This covers all forms of self-defense. So from a fist to a firearm, from a fat lip to a dead body, you are covered, and you will have some of the nation's most passionate 2A attorneys in your corner fighting for you. And right now, if you visit my friends at protectwithbear.com and you use the promo code WGL, you will receive 10% off. Listen, you need to protect yourself so that you can protect them. Visit my good friends at protectwithbear.com. Okay, America, and in particular Colorado, we're going to be talking about Senate Bill 3 again, the bill that just continues to get worse and worse and worse. Now, by the way, I do recognize that I was a little bit critical of your state legislature during our last video, and I wanted you to know that some of that came from this. I went and looked up the sponsor of the bill, or one of the primary sponsors, found out it was State Senator Tom Sullivan. Tom Sullivan, who decided to pose for a photo for his official legislative photograph, actually wearing a baseball hat, and then he wears a New York Mets hat. He doesn't even wear himself a Colorado Rockies hat or anything like that. So understand, Colorado, anytime you got a state senator that is trying to work to make their state more like New York, that's not a good thing. We have the same thing in Washington. We got a lot of people in the state legislature trying to make our state look more and more like California. Unfortunately, they are succeeding. But then I got a message today when I was over at Forge Relations from my good friend Todd Vandermeide over at Freedom Steel. And by the way, if you're not following Todd and Freedom Steel, we're going to link them all up down below. He's doing really, really good content. He had watched my video and said, hey, actually, I think there's an additional constitutional problem. Lo and behold, he's right. And here's what it is, Colorado. As you know, if you actually want to still go out and purchase one of these scary specified semi-automatic firearms, if this bill becomes law, you're going to need either a hunter safety card plus a basic firearm safety class, or if you don't have the hunter safety certificate, then you're going to have to take this extended 12-hour class before you can go purchase one of these firearms. Once you've jumped through all of those hoops, and you got your fingerprints done, and you filled out your applications, and you paid all your fees, and you did all your education, so you're already jumping through all those hoops, the statute, or at least the applicable portion of the bill here, reads as follows, and I want you to pay careful attention to something. After receiving the results of the fingerprint-based criminal history record check, a sheriff shall issue a firearm safety course eligibility card to an applicant who satisfies the criteria listed in sections 18.12.2031A to 1G. Okay, seems pretty straightforward. If you meet all the criteria, you're good to go, right? And then the very next statute of the bill reads, a sheriff shall deny or revoke a firearm safety course eligibility card if an applicant or card holder fails to meet one of the criteria listed in the applicable statutes. So far, seems pretty straightforward. If you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to get your firearm safety card, and then with your firearm safety card or your hall pass, you can go purchase the firearm. Good to go, right? Wrong. Because the very next sentence of the same bill reads, and may deny or revoke a card if the sheriff has a reasonable belief that documented previous behavior by the applicant or cardholder makes it likely the person will present a danger to themselves or others if the person holds a firearm safety course eligibility card. Translation, no, you can jump through all the hoops, but then in the subjective opinion of that particular sheriff, they think, he's not really suitable for one of these cards. You're not going to get one of those cards. And if you don't get one of those cards, you're not going to be able to purchase one of those firearms. And if you don't have access to the firearm of your choice, well, your Second Amendment rights are being denied of you. Now, here's the thing. Didn't we already have a case that talked about this ridiculous subjective criteria that goes into licensing regimes? Yeah, we did. It was called New York Pistol and Rifle Association v. Bruin. You guys have probably heard me talk about that case 1,000 times, where they basically said, listen, if states are going to use objective criteria, like is he a convicted felon? Has he been convicted of domestic violence? Has he been institutionalized in a mental health hospital? Yeah, we're okay with that kind of objective criteria, but the subjective criteria, like proper cause, good moral character, or in this case, where a sheriff just believes subjectively, in their opinion, based upon any kind of documented evidence that this person poses a risk to themselves or others, they can deny. And here's the thing. The bill does not talk about what kinds of documented evidence. Now, I can understand if this person perhaps has 4 or 5 allegations of serious felonious assault and is somehow another avoided criminal conviction, a sheriff could theoretically justify that. But what happens if you just got a sheriff that's like, this guy's got a heavy right foot. He drives like an idiot. I got all sorts of documentation that says the guy's a menace when he's on the roadway. Can they use that as criteria to deny you that essential permission slip or hall pass that you're going to need in order to exercise your right? So what started off Colorado as an unconstitutional ban then morphed into an unconstitutional ban with an unconstitutional licensing requirement. But in reality, what it's really morphed into is an unconstitutional ban with an unconstitutional licensing requirement that uses unconstitutional subjective criteria. Colorado, the more your legislature hammers on this, the worse and worse it gets. Listen, we'll keep you posted because this is a rapidly moving situation out there in Colorado. Once again, it is Senate Bill 3. We'll link it all up down below. Hey, you guys may find him in yet another constitutional problem, and let Washington gun law know about it. If you got any questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. But if you don't, that's okay. That information, it's down there in the description box. If you got an idea for a video we should be doing around here, you click on that link right there and you tell us all about it. If you want to subscribe to our monthly newsletter, the ability to do all of that is down there in the description box. And then finally, and most importantly, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. From beautiful Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, thanks for watching and stay safe.